Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel where I share the most heartwarming stories, movie reviews, and inspiring tales with you. Today, I'm bringing you an incredible holiday story. It's like a real-life family drama full of love, loss, struggle, and tons of surprises. The story is called something like The Lodge, but I'm going to tell it to you in full detail from start to finish. So friends, the story begins on a beautiful, snowy winter morning. Our main character is Kate, a single mom who runs her family's old lodge. It's in a gorgeous mountainous place like Colorado. If you saw Kate's routine, you'd say, wow, what a busy life. In the morning, she first stops at Mrs. Green's flower shop. Mrs. Green says, "Good morning, Kate," and Kate buys fresh flowers because she always puts them out for the lodge guests. Then she heads to Jack's bakery. Jack is a super nice guy and a baker. He says, "Hi, Kate. Dozen muffins." Kate smiles and says, "Yes, please." Everyone tells her, "Stay warm, it's chilly outside," because it's the winter season. Imagine it like a Christmas movie scene. Music playing, everyone happy. Now Kate arrives at the lodge. Carol is there, the receptionist. Carol says, "Good morning. Any new reservations?" "Nope, actually a cancellation." Kate feels sad because business is slow. The plumber is coming at 11, and there's a call from Miami, a big resort chain. Kate says thanks and heads out. Here we see Kate struggle. The lodge is old, needs maintenance, but there's no money. You're thinking, what will Kate do? Next scene, Emma comes in, Kate's daughter. Emma works part-time at Jack's bakery. Jack says, "Hi, kid. Thanks for coming in." Emma says, "No problem, I could use the hours." They talk about a show called Realm of Destiny, a fantasy series. Emma is surprised Jack has read the books and says, "Don't spoil it." Jack praises Emma's short story, saying, "You're talented." You'll think, Jack and Emma have such a cute friendship. But there's a hint. Jack feels a connection with Kate. Now bad news. The plumber, Gerald, arrives. He says, "Both boilers need replacing, plumbing too. Parts haven't been made in decades." Kate laughs and says, "Merry Christmas," but inside she's breaking. The lodge is vintage, but the cost is huge. You're like, oh no, poor Kate. Then Kate calls Susan from the Miami resort. Susan says, "Hi, Kate. Got our offer?" It was more than we discussed. Kate feels flattered but says, "I need more time." Susan says, "Come with Emma for a visit, tour the school, all on us." Kate agrees. This is a big opportunity. New job, big salary. You're excited. Will Kate go? Emma comes home from the bakery and meets Kate. Kate says, "Tonight we'll work on the family newsletter." But Kate is busy, and Emma feels hurt. Next scene, Kate comes home to find Emma has decorated and made dinner, chicken pot pie and figgy pudding. Kate says, "Best kid ever." They talk about the newsletter. Kate says, "You try it yourself, I have work." Emma sadly leaves. You're thinking, Kate, give Emma some time. The next day, Emma emails the newsletter. Kate doesn't read it and says, "It's great. Send it." Kate has a bank meeting. The banker says, "Business is off. Might need to reevaluate the loan. Pray for snow." Kate prays. Now the twist. Kate's sister calls, "Dragon fossils under the lodge?" It's in the family newsletter. Kate realizes Emma wrote a fantasy story. Dragons, sorcerers. Kate gets mad at Emma. "You embarrassed me. You're childish." Emma says, "I am a child. We struggle, but we don't act like family." Kate, alone, says, "I wish you were here," probably to her late husband. The story gets emotional here, friends. You'll start crying. Kate goes to Emma, a bit shy, and says, "Hi, sweetie. Am I the worst mom ever?" Emma smiles and says, "No, most of the time you're the best. Pretty much always." Kate apologizes. "I haven't been myself lately. A lot is going on. But you were right. We'll be fine. From now on, I'll be more present. We'll do more family stuff. Promise." Emma says, "Promise?" "Then next week we'll put up Christmas lights together." Kate smiles. "Okay." They hug. Wow, this moment is so beautiful. Are you feeling it? My eyes are tearing up. Now Kate is back in her routine. In the morning, she buys flowers from Mrs. Green. Mrs. Green says, "Good morning, Kate. Oh, beautiful. Kate says thanks and leaves. Then to Jack's bakery. Jack says, good morning. How are you? Kate says, doing well. Dozen muffins. Jack smiles, coming right up. Kate asks Jack, noticed anything about Emma? Jack says, the family newsletter incident? Kate feels embarrassed. Jack says, Emma's going through a lot. You both are. Just be there for her. She needs you now more than ever. Kate says, yeah, and leaves. Jack's words are so true. But now comes the big disaster. Kate is leaving the bakery with muffins and suddenly slips and falls. Muffins fly everywhere. It's a muffin massacre. Kate screams, oh my god, my ankle. Jack runs over. Is it bad? Broken. Kate says, yeah, I think so. Jack takes her to the doctor. The doctor says, at least 2 weeks on crutches. No pressure, no driving. Kate panics, I can't miss work. So much going on at the lodge. Jack says, you'll hop there? No way. I'll drive you. It's right on my way. Kate says, you've done too much already. But Jack insists, it's settled. Jack, are you an angel? Now Jack drives Kate to the lodge every day and drops Emma at school too. One day Emma says, Mom, Jack stay for dinner? Kate feels shy but says, up to Jack. Jack says, I'm a pretty mean cook. Emma says, we do this professionally. The three cook together. They debate Realm of Destiny. Emma says, why didn't Talon just go get the sword? Jack says, Simon pretended, but it led him right to it. Kate laughs, pretty clever. Emma says, Jack's the expert, he read the books. Jack says, yeah, but we're nerds. This scene is so much fun. Kate feels truly relaxed for the first time. After dinner, Kate says, let's clean up. Jack says, I'm here to help. Kate says, no please. But Jack insists. Emma says, thank you, Jack. Jack says, see you in the morning. It's like a family. The next day, Jack brings muffins and flowers. Kate says, my favorite. How did you know? They cook again. Emma says, Jack, stay for Realm of Destiny. Kate says, up to Jack. Jack says, how do I say no to that? Emma makes popcorn. Family movie night. One day Kate needs help moving decorations and asks Gerald. Gerald opens a box. Inside are Emma's handmade ornaments. Every year Emma made them for her dad, writing, asterisk, Merry Christmas to the best daddy ever. Love, Emma. Asterisk, Kate says, I couldn't last year. It was too soon. Gerald says, he was a good dad. But you're always there for her. She's lucky. Kate says, I feel jealous. Their relationship was so easy. Gerald says, moms are disciplinarians. Dads are fun. But you're a great mom. This scene is so emotional. Kate's eyes well up. One night Jack bakes gingerbread cookies, Emma's recipe. Kate says, heavenly aroma. They drink hot cocoa. Jack says, I'm a dunker. Kate laughs. Jack says, I haven't celebrated Christmas since Rachel. Kate says, I know the feeling. Loss of certainty. Jack says, the biggest turning point was letting go of expectations. Chemistry is sparking. They go to a sip and paint place. Emma says, I get wine. Kate says, no, you're not driving. They paint, laugh. Jack says, you're an amazing artist. It's like a date. The doctor says, Kate's foot is fine. She can drive. Kate says, thank you, Jack. We wouldn't know what to do without you. Jack says, my pleasure. Emma says, dinner? Jack says, rain check. Kate gets home and finds a card from Jack. Asterisk, dear Kate, we should go on a date. Asterisk, Kate is shocked. Emma says, you like him, right? Kate says, I haven't been on a date since. I don't know what to do. Emma says, be yourself. On the date, Kate wears boots. Jack says, you look incredible. They have dinner. Jack says, I learned baking from Grandma. Kate says, Emma adores you. Jack says, feelings mutual. Kate says, thank you for a wonderful evening. But at the end, Jack says, I didn't write this card. The handwriting looks like a middle school girl. Emma is caught. Kate gets mad. How could you? Emma says, you two make moony eyes but no guts. I lent you guts. Kate laughs. I don't know if I want to kill you or can't be mad. Carol says, the plumber called, everything's fixed. But the bank lady called again, need to talk today. Kate says, great. Then she calls Susan from the Miami resort. Susan says, hi Kate. Thought about the visit. Kate says, yes, we're coming. This weekend, okay? Susan says, perfect. Florida trip confirmed. Now Kate tells Emma at home, Emma, we have an opportunity. Florida. Emma says, moving? You'll kidnap me. Kate laughs. No, just a visit. New office, new school tour. Emma says, dolphin swimming? Kate says, I don't know if it's dolphin season. Emma says, you said new office. You accepted the job? Kate says, no, but it's a great opportunity. Lots of money. Can pay bills. But family decision. Emma says, again, opportunity. Fine, I'll think. Emma is clearly not excited. Next day, Kate buys muffins from Jack. She says, I got a job offer in Florida. Emma and I are checking it out. Jack says, Florida? Big change. Kate says, Lodge is struggling. This might be the opportunity we need. Jack says, do what you think is right. Kate says, thank you for everything. You're amazing. But if it doesn't work, Jack says, I understand. Oh no, it feels like goodbye. Now Gerald's memory lane. Gerald tells Kate, Florida? Emma will hate it. Then he tells a story, how he took Emma's dad, John, to Grandpa's ranch the first time. John said, nothing to do. But then he fell in love with a horse named Gypsy. Rode every morning and night, drew pictures, put them on the fridge. When Gypsy died, John broke down. But he started riding again. Finally, a family photo. Everyone on horses, Gypsy's picture on the fridge next to it. Gerald says, hope you have a good trip. This story is so heartbreaking. John's memories, Emma's dad, everyone's crying. Now Emma goes to Jack. She says, Mom's taking me to Florida. You didn't stop her. Jack says, it's not my place. It's a good opportunity. Emma says, again, opportunity. She's running. Adults run when miserable. They forget happiness. Even when happiness is right in front of them, they run. End up with just regret. Jack says, profound words from a young lady. Emma says, I know how the story ends. Emma is 12 but has 50 years of wisdom. The day before the trip. Emma packs. Kate says, don't stay up late. Early flight. Emma says, okay. Then suddenly, hi Mom. I miss Dad too. He was the best dad. Every day he made me happy. He made you happy too. I want you to still be happy. Just wanted you to know. Good night. Kate says, good night, sweetie. This line brings tears to my eyes. Emma understands how much her mom is hurting. Florida, Royal Resorts. Susan welcomes Kate. Oh, it's so good to see you. Kate says, so good to see you too. First class flight? Penthouse suite? I had to beg Emma to come. Now I don't know if I can get her to leave. Susan laughs. They sit in the office. Susan says, this office is yours if you take the job. Kate says, wow, this is really nice. But the offer, numbers off by a decimal point. Susan says, we know what you're worth. We manage dozens of resorts. We use AI-assisted algorithms, local population, income, holiday travel, temperature, to predict success or failure. If a property runs its course, the resolution team shuts it down. Now the big reveal. Susan says, we analyzed your Colorado lodge. Survival quotient, minus 18 months. Meaning it should have closed 1.5 years ago. But it hasn't. You are the anomaly. Kate says, wow, what? Susan says, numbers don't lie. But you're the reason it's surviving. Remember Harold? He was our operative secret shopper. Kate says, oh, operative? Spy. Susan says, more like secret shopper. He saw fresh muffins, flowers, personal ownership. We need that. You think globally, act locally. We want to learn from you. Kate says, I sound like a superhero. Susan says, to us you are. We need you. Kate says, so much Emma's school lodge would have to sell. Susan says, we can help with school tours. And the lodge? Resolution team handles it. From January 1st, not your responsibility. Kate asks, resolution means? Susan says, so. If no buyers shut down. Numbers don't lie. Kate says, the lodge is 100 plus years of family. I can't imagine, Susan says, one step at a time. Here Kate's confusion peaks. You're thinking, what will Kate do? Cut to Colorado Lodge. Gerald is digitizing old ledgers. Carol says, back again? Gerald says, for the bank. Roosevelt room? Teddy Roosevelt really stayed there. Carol says, this old place has crazy memories. Gerald says, you were here in Kate's dad's time. Kate at 13 said, I want to work with my dad. She came back from college with a business degree. She's always been a sharp cookie. Emma's on the same path. Carol says, what if she goes to Florida? Gerald says, I'll open a repair shop. Join me. You know computers run a tight ship. Carol says, thank you, sweet. But we'll figure it out. This scene is so sweet. Friendship and future plans. Now Kate's big moment. In Florida at night, Kate calls Gerald. Hi, Gerald. I'm alright, Emma's living her best life. But I'm more confused. Offers good, salary great, people nice. But lodge might shut down. Gerald says, it's always a possibility. Economics. Kate says, they use AI, income, travel, weather. But they miss the most important. The people. Like Mrs. Green's plumbing fundraiser. Or when John passed, you helped. Business good or bad. But when things fall apart, people come together. That's humanity. I choose humanity over algorithm. Gerald says, sounds like you have quite a bit to think about. Wow, Kate's realization. This is the story's turning point. Now happy return. Kate comes back to Colorado. Sees help wanted sign at Jack's bakery. Help wanted? Position taken. Jack says, quite a commute from Florida. Kate says, not Florida. It's humid, no snow for Christmas. I figured out the real opportunity. Jack says, you have it all figured out? Kate says, yes. Do I get the job? Jack says, any baking experience? Kate says, technically no, but I live with someone who does. She learned from the best. Jack says, I like where this is heading. Boss? Tough but fair. Not a bad guy. Kate says, can I start today? Jack says, absolutely. Yes. Kate joins Jack, romance and family. Asterisk asterisk. Final family newsletter. Emma wrote, dear loved ones, this year's newsletter is the story of a baker, his assistant, and a single mom who 1 year ago was suffering from a broken foot and a broken heart. I'm happy to report both have healed nicely. It's been quite a year. We said goodbye to Colorado and hello to Florida. And then goodbye again. We'll go back, but just for a visit. Maybe this time swim with dolphins. Oh, and this time we are bringing Jack with us. Perfect ending. The story ends with a song line, I got a feeling coming over. All in all, holiday magic. Do you like happy endings? Comment your favorite part. Like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next series. Bye bye, take care.